All right. So we're gonna do another video. I'm guessing it's gonna be a short one, but you never can tell. Hobby writing versus career writing, basically, is what we're talking about. And I guess as I got older, I lightened up a bit because for me, I always thought as a writer, as a creative person, you this is what you want to do as a career. You want to be a full-time author. You don't need some stupid 9 to 5 job and health insurance and stuff. You're a writer. You're creating stories that millions of people are going to read and throw money at you. You don't need anything else. That was the idea anyway. The reality there is not everybody can do this for a career. Not everybody can make enough money to sustain. And it's also how much money do you need personally in order to keep the lights on and pay your mortgage and your phone bill and your car insurance and food in your mouth, blah blah blah. So everybody is unique, everybody is different. Okay. I um I was full time as a writer for about a over a year when I first met Shelly, who I eventually suckered into marrying me. And I've been able to sustain this to really good years and really, really bad years of sales and whatnot. Again, like I've said on other videos, she's almost 20 years in her job right now. As it's a career. It's not even a job. It's a career. She gets phenomenal money. She gets Her bonuses are usually more than I make in a year, and we're good. We live a very, very good, blessed life. That being said, my goal is always to make more money to contribute to the household. If I can make more than her in a year, that'd be great. But it's not an ego thing. It's just that we'd have that much more money coming in. And so I'm able to do this as a career. Now, realistically, I look and I say, where would I be if we had never met, if I was still single and I decided, you know what, third time getting married is not going to be the charm here. I'm just going to be single. And I mean, women would probably be very upset to hear that I was still on the market and they couldn't date me. But anyway, that's a whole other video. So I think I'd probably be living at my mother's house right now. I'd probably be living in my parents' dining room again. And that's the reality of it. Because I've had some really good years, but I've had some really bad years as a writer. You just don't know. There's no health insurance here. I get health insurance through my wife, but there's no health insurance for any of this. We're all getting older. And so I get it. So couple stories, couple of writers. I was at a convention maybe 10 years ago. I won't mention their names because I don't know if this stuff is out there. But I was on a panel with an author that I really enjoyed being on the panel with them, and I had read one of their books. And afterwards, we started talking. It was like a Saturday afternoon panel. Afterwards, that night, Saturday night, we're all in the lobby, and he came up to me and, oh, you had a lot of great ideas, and I thought it was awesome. Had a great conversation with this person. And I said, oh, are you doing any panels tomorrow? And he goes, oh, no, I got to leave tomorrow morning early. I said, oh, that's a shame. I was hoping to see you on another panel. He's like, oh, yeah, I got to go to work on Monday. And I said, oh, and I'm thinking, this person just won a big award. This person's with at the time, big six publisher. This person is talking about his new book, and he's got, he didn't say with the advancement, but he got an advance on this book. And I'm like, how is that possible? How is that possible? And then I run into a bunch of authors that are teachers. So they have health insurance, they have money, they have a paycheck, they have kids, they have a wife, they have a life outside of writing and a job allows them to write without the stress of every dime I make has to go back into the household. A great author that's no longer with us anymore. He worked at a coffee place, even though phenomenal writer, award-winning phenomenal writer, because of the health insurance. He literally was working a job because of the health insurance, which helped him in the end, partially. So we're all in different places. You know, there's authors that I am friends with that I at first I didn't understand. Well, why are you writing then if your goal is not to make billions of sales and write thousands of books and on and on and on? And I realized that's not everybody's motivation. Money, fame, and wealth, okay, they are motivating factors. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to give you the I would write if they didn't pay me. I probably would. I just wouldn't write 1,096 words a day. I wouldn't sit here for 10 and 12 hours a day and promote and do all this other stuff if I wasn't getting paid. I'd still write some stories because I got to get them out of me because I'm creative. But that's the motivation. Motivation is money. Paying for my time, paying for what's coming, being recognized, fame. Those are things that I want. I want the accolades. I want, grandmaster. I want special guest. I want all these things. I want people to know who I am. Okay, I want to build the legacy of who I am. But not everybody needs that. And there are some authors I talk to that they've been writing for years. They've never put a book out. And there's a fear there that they're going to put that book out and it's not going to sell. Nobody's going to care. And then my dream is shattered, type of thing. And that's a shame. I think put it out there, see what happens. Be realistic about what can or can't happen. Okay. And I think that should be more than enough. How's that? So I'm not, and I'll be honest with you, I used to get down. I used to basically be a jerk and talk about, I don't understand how you can do that. Why is this a hobby? This shouldn't be a hobby. This is one path, and you need to build this up that you are a career writer, and this is your job. And if you're not there, then you're wasting your time. And that was so wrong. So you could look at anything that you're having fun with. So I got a buddy who loves classic cars and he loves to rebuild them, from the frame up, piece by piece. That's not his job. So do I say to him, oh, you're wasting your time rebuilding these cars from the 50s and 60s because you don't do this for a living, because you don't own a garage, because you have another job? No, he's enjoying it. And I think if you're a hobby writer, as long as you're enjoying it, as long as you are able to be creative, as long as you are working another job to pay the bills, I'm fine with it. And again, Armand's opinion, that's what this is. Yeah, my back hurts a little bit. I'm not cutting that out. So, I think that's the bottom line, is you have to figure out your path. You have to figure out realistically, are you able to write 500,000 words a year? Are you able to come up with that many ideas? Are you able to sit down in the chair and write every day? Are you able to promote? Are you able to figure out Amazon ads and promoting and all this AI garbage and on and on and on? Are you understanding the way this business works, that the writing is such a small part of this? And are you willing to learn all these things? Are you willing to learn how to find a proper editor, how to find a great cover artist, how to find a formatter, on and on and on? Or are you just like, I just want to write. I just want to write a book, and if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. I just want to write some short stories and make a couple of pennies on a word, and just so I can say, hey, I was in this magazine or I was in this anthology, and then That's your goal. You know, your goal is, hey, I want to write one short story a year, and I want to try to sell it. If you're happy with that, then I should be happy for you. If that is your goal, then I'm fine with that. Okay. And a lot of people have careers. Hey, you might go, hey, I want to be a full-time author, but you know what? I love my job. I make great money. Benefits are great. My bonuses are great. I get to travel, whatever it is. You end up loving your job. And you're also a person that cannot work from home. Okay. My wife, if she's home all day Saturday, Sunday morning, she's got to leave the house. That drives her nuts in here. I can sit here for a week. I can sit in this chair for a week. I'm grumpy at the end of that week. I at that point, I need to get out of the house. But there's no yearning of, oh, I need to get out there and I need to, I don't know, see people, talk to people, whatever. I want to be creative. I want to sit here and I want to write. I want to do these dumb writing videos for you. So that's the motivation that I look at it. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. And I used to think there was. I used to think if you are a hobby writer and you're not a career writer, then you're wasting your time. And that's not really the answer for me. If I was just doing this as a hobby, that's wasting my time. Okay, that's again Armand's opinion on it. I don't think you're wrong in anything, but you know what? You also have to be realistic. There's a writer that a bunch of us know that has been talking about being a writer for years and hardly ever writing. And that person once told me, "Oh, I read 5,000 books last year," and I'm like, I could have read 5,000 books too, but you know what I was doing? I read 80 books last year. You know what I did with that other 400 something books? I wrote books. And I did it because that's the motivation for me. That's the factor of being creative, not reading what other people are being creative with. So, you know, that's a person that's always going to talk about being a writer, but they're never going to be a writer. They're never going to do the minimum of what needs to be done. And you know what that is? Sit down in the seat and just write something, create something. Don't go, oh, I've watched every Netflix series there is. Oh, I took the year off and I haven't written a word. Don't do that. Okay, unless your thing is, this is just fun for me. This is just a hobby. I write when I can write. I haven't written in 6 months, but it doesn't bother me. If I skip more than a day, it bothers me. I don't write usually on Saturdays, or I'll sneak in a couple words in the morning while my wife's sleeping. But on Sunday, I'm not taking the weekend off unless there's something coming up. There's something pressing. We're out of town. We're doing something. My wife has a couple of days off, and we have planned stuff. Then I don't stress about it. But I know, come Monday morning, man, I'm going to hit it. I have to write because I'm creative and because this is my career. Okay. What's the thing like somebody had once said. And it wasn't even about writing, but it was basically about something else. It was like a farmer. Farmer doesn't go, man, I'm not going to milk the cows today. I'm not going to plow the fields today. I just don't feel like it. I'm just going to sit on the couch. No, that's not an option. That's not an option. And for me as a writer, that's not an option. Listen, I get depressed and I have really bad anxiety sometimes. When we're out somewhere, I'm just like, hey, I'm going to go outside by myself for a minute. We'll go to conventions, and sometimes I'll sit to my wife. I'm going to the room to close my eyes for like a half an hour and to reset. But there's never I don't want to write at all. I don't have the motivation, blah, blah, blah. It's not a thing. It's just for me. For me, it's not a thing. For other people, it is. And it's one of those things that I've learned over the years that not everybody has the drive like I do. Also, there's writers that have way more drive than I do. We were at a convention one time, and an author was there, an author who's no longer with us. And we're all hanging out at the bar area, just talking, socializing. It's like 10 o'clock at night on like a Friday or a Saturday night. And he says, all right, everybody, I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm like, oh, are you going to bed? And he goes, no, I have a book I'm writing. I have to finish this book. I have a deadline. I have a publisher, and it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter that I'm halfway across the country. I have to write this book, so I need to put in an hour of writing. And I was like, wow, that's dedication. I don't know if I could mentally, if I could do that. You know what though? He always pumped out really good books before his passing. So again, that's his personal motivation. That was his career. And he also was a guy who had a full-time job, who had a great job. But he had a wife and kids and all this, and his thing was, I still have to write my one book a year. I'm in a Big Five publisher, and I want to get my one book out a year. And you know what? I kudos to you, buddy, wherever you are. Looking down on me going, don't mention my name. So there you go. So you got to be realistic with yourself. You got to say to yourself, I have friends that they have jobs, they have families and everything, and they're like, I'm just going to write 1 or 2 books a year. I come up with my ideas, and I'm just going to pump out some books, and that's awesome. You know, they don't want to quit their jobs. That's not the goal. The goal is not always I got to quit my job. That should because everybody has their own motivation. Everybody's story is unique. There's people that would say I got to make $300,000 a year in order to live with the lifestyle I have. Whatever. You can't guarantee that selling books. You know, I mean, there's some authors that I guess can do it. There's some authors that do very, very well. But the reality there is that's not all of us. I am a lower mid-list author. I've made a lot more money than a lot of authors will ever make. And there is a ton of authors that have made so much more money than I will ever make. So I'm like in the middle of the pack there. Maybe a little bit lower than the middle of the pack. Mid, as the kids say. I think us kids still say that. So there you go. So there is my thoughts on hobby versus career writing. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you know where you are on that scale, if where you want to be or where you realistically are. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button and follow me here on YouTube. Also, watch a bunch of my videos. Every Wednesday and Sunday, I put out new writing videos. Sometimes some Fridays I might put some out if I get ahead. So just watch for these videos. Playlist under writing. Just hit and just watch them all. And then hit every other playlist and then just watch them all. So thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. And good luck with your career. Whether it's a career or it's a hobby, good luck with your writing. Let's just say that. Good luck with your writing. Sorry for pointing at you.